it's spring. Well, first of all, no, we're not starting with that. Hi, I'm Hannah, right? Welcome to my springtime kitchen today, where we're going to be making artichokes. We're roasting them. Basically, I love artichokes. There's something so fabulous about sitting in a lovely French bistro and dipping them in some vinaigrette. But I feel like when I have shared this recipe on Instagram, everyone has asked me how I do them. So I'm here to show you, because artichokes should not be reserved for going out. They are a fantastic lunchtime solution. They're a great side. They're fabulous to share with friends, which you know I love to do. And when you roast them, they get a little crispy, crunchy. You can add more flavour. And also, I like to roast them because, quite frankly, when I steam them, I always forget about them, and probably 75% of the time I've burnt the bottom. So this avoids that situ. We are literally going to take these globe artichokes, cut them in half, take out that choky bit, which is like the hairy bit that's underneath that you shouldn't really eat. Put a lot of lemon on them because that stops them going brown. We're going to add, I'm going to cut this in half so it looks pretty. That's garlic, by the way. I'm going to add, I have tarragon in my fridge, so we're going to add that. If you don't have it, don't have it. I've got some thyme, so we're adding that, and some rosemary and some bay leaves. If you have only one, add that. I'm going to add some salt, little olive oil. Today I'm using Nolly Pratt because, quite frankly, this is not a day that I'm going to finish my bottle of white wine. But if you are cooking and you have a bottle of white wine, add some of that. I always have vermouth on the side for white wine emergencies when I don't want to have an open bottle or I don't have any left. So let's get cracking. This will take about 5 minutes to get in the oven. We'll roast at 200 for 45 minutes and then you're done. So there's a few tricks with artichokes, and that is they go brown the minute they are exposed. So I always have some cut lemon ready just to get them done. And this bit here, the hairy bit in the middle, is what we're going to scrape out because no one wants to eat that. So I've got a little bowl here and I'm just going to do it with a spoon, and I'm just going to scoop out what you call the choke. I'm going to add a little more lemon into the middle. It doesn't matter if it goes brown because they're going to roast, but it's just, you know, it's all about the aesthetics over here. If you are having a big sit-down dinner and you want something to have on the side, Easter, Passover, that's all coming up, they would be amazing to have on the table. Artichokes vary in size, so I'm giving you a guide time for cooking of 45 minutes, but you might want to check it. Some take longer, some take less time. Oh look, they're going to snuggle in so beautifully here. I've got a couple of bay leaves here, some rosemary, which is going to be, this is going to be like a herbaceous, and again you can see I've got some lemon thyme. You can see how then this becomes a lot tastier. I'm going to put tarragon because we're going to make a little tarragon aioli, and that way the flavour goes all the way through. Okay, very important, do not forget the salt. A good slug of Nolly Pratt, because you need to have something to steam at the bottom, about a cup, maybe 250 ml if you're not American. And I'm going to top it up with a little water. You can just use water here, by the way. There's nothing wrong with just putting water. It's got a lot of seasoning going on already, and because it's going in the oven, a little trickle of olive oil just to get those leaves a little crispy. Maybe I should have made it in a bigger pan. No, I think this is going to be absolutely great. Is it going to work? Should we change dishes? What do you think? No, they're in. That's good. Okay, tightly cover it. It's going to be crispy topped. Wipe my hands, put them in the oven. There we go. Put them in the oven. 45 minutes. Don't forget the time. That's it. While they are cooking, got to make the sauce, because actually the sauce for artichoke is both as important and as good as the artichoke itself. I know that there's a connotation of this, which you can buy really good mayonnaise, so why would you do it? Fair enough. You can always zhuzh up your mayonnaise if you want. With a bit of lemon, little tarragon, little mustard. You do that. I love the bouginess of a homemade aioli. And once I learnt the soup dildo trick, that's what we call this here. I know it's an immersion blender in most normal kitchens, but here we call it a soup dildo, why not? Once I learned the trick of adding half the oil with the egg and whatever flavours you're putting in, I'm putting in some Dijon mustard, a clove of confit garlic, squidge of lemon, we'll get to the honey in a minute, and you zhuzh it with a whole egg with this in here, and it has to be a long, well-fitted cylindrical thing for it to work, no big bowl. It emulsifies beautifully and you're not sweating over your egg yolk and worrying about your egg white that you're wasting or any of that shit. This is simple. Now, a few caveats about, there's always a caveat, a few caveats about aioli. There's a great debate in the world right now about seed oils. Now, normal aiolis, if you look at any of like the famous recipes for it, they will most likely be half sunflower oil, which is technically a seed oil for those who are avoiding them, and half olive oil. The reason being olive oil, when it is blitzed, can go bitter. I'm going olive oil because, to be honest, I've had enough of the keyboard warriors here on my ingredients, so I'm going all olive oil. Anyway, we'll get on with it, shall we? And I'll stop talking. Okay, I am going to use half garlic oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ingredients in, I'm going to use half the oil, I'm going to blitz it, and then I'm going to pour the other half of the oil into this to finish it off and make it all silky and smooth and delicious and not bitter. So in here, I have a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I'm going to put a little squidge of lemon. You don't want too much liquid at this stage because you don't want to mess with the older. So I'm just going to put a little bit, like a teaspoon in. I'm going to fish out a clove of garlic from my confit jar here. Lovely one. You can add 2 if you're feeling very garlicky, but I'm going to use some of this lovely garlic oil in here, so we don't need that. I'm going to crack my egg in. Try not to make a mess. You want everything underneath the oil. And I'm going to put in the tiniest smidge of honey. This is a massive jar. I'm going to put in like half a teaspoon. There we go. Bitter averted. Okay, for those that don't speak American, 250 ml of olive oil total, 125 now, 125 after. I'm putting in half a cup. Always easy with the cup measure. Again, oil of choice, but I really love the richness of the olive oil. Soup dildo in. There we go. Hold on a minute. How did I forget the salt? Wow. Get those last bits of oil in. I'm now going to add the other half of the oil, and I'm going to add garlic oil for, you know, extra zhuzh and pungency. And then I'm going to add some tarragon because I always seem to have leftover tarragon and it just is so delicious with this. And I am going to very slowly, can you see how the texture is like going into this gorgeous, like mayonnaise-y, and I'm going to continue to whisk it. I am so cat-candid here. I've said this is the easiest thing to do, and I'm not demonstrating that because obviously the moment you put it on film, it doesn't do that. But look at that sauce. Obviously I put it in too small a bowl. Why have I made my life difficult? It's one of those days. Right, I'm going to clear the decks. I'm going to add some chopped tarragon, a final season, and then we're going to dip. I'm going to strip the tarragon leaves. I love tarragon. It's a slightly aniseedy flavour. It works brilliantly with all that spring veg. This is delicious on a cold chicken salad. Dip your asparagus into. The aioli will keep for a couple of days in your fridge, so you can make it. You can add parsley, you can add capers and anchovies to this. It's really delicious, and a splash of red wine vinegar. You can really get funky with your flavours here. Now, tarragon is overpowering, so you don't want it to be too green. You could add wild garlic to this as well. So, let's give this one final stir. Delicious, and we're going to use this to dip our artichokes in the minute they come out of the oven. For dipping, I'm going to transfer it out of this bowl, and we're going to just, oh my God, this is so unctuous, this sauce. Have it in a pretty dish with a pretty spoon. And I love actually using my pouring bowls as serving dishes because then there's no falling over of the spoon. So this is just going to wait for the artichokes now. Those look good. Now, I'm just going to do a little taste test. Burning my tongue. They're cooked. Ta-da! Here they are. You can see they've got these lovely crispy edges and they're basically ready to eat. You can serve this alongside your aioli. For those who are unsure of how to eat an artichoke, I'm here to not only show you how to cook it, but how to eat it. And take the outer leaves. It's very important you don't eat this bit. This is the dip bit, where you dip. You pull a bit more delicately. Oh my God, this is so good, the tarragon aioli. And you just work your way round. And if you come back in 5 minutes, I'll have finished all of this and I'll show you how to eat the heart, which is really the treat. Getting to the good bit now. I get much more off these central leaves, just for those, you know, on the artichoke tutorial. More simple recipes, or those that seem simple. No, this was simple, and now it's all stuck in my teeth. For more simple recipes, you know what to do. Subscribe, follow along. It's fun over here.